Hello and welcome back to Olivia's Mindful Gardens and Plants, and today we're going to do our April tour. The temperature is 9 degrees Celsius, that's about 47 in Fahrenheit, so quite chilly morning. We have had nicer weather, but it's been lots of wind, lots of rain, intermittent sun, and I've just not been able to time my April tour. So let's get to it. I'll show you around the garden. Everything is looking beautiful and green. So in this bed directly next to the pond, I have two beautiful peonies. This one here is a lovely, very light pink, almost white. And this one here is a deep burgundy colour. This one has quite a lot of sentimental value to me because my mother gave me this many years ago, and it's just been so happy here. So it will stay, and if I ever move, it will come with me, and I hopefully will find equally as nice spot for it. I will, over the period of the coming months, I'm going to try and chart all my plants so that I have a name for everything. So please do keep watching so that I can give you the name of each variety that I show you today. Many of you will know that I have a north-facing garden, so it's just reached now the edge of my deck outside the back door. So in the summer it will be completely sunny, but in the winter it's always dark and dingy. So most of the time on the deck I have pots, so they can be easily moved around. That is the Salvia amnestad here growing. I've had these all winter, and they're acclimatizing to the outside. It's still too early really to plant out in the garden. Musabasu, again, they're acclimatizing outside now, and I hopefully will leave these out overnight soon. One of my favourite things to do is collect lots of pots. It's ever growing, but I do try my best to put plants out into the garden soil. But with hostas, I don't do that, and that is purely because I have so many slugs and snails. It's an ongoing battle. I do use pellets for the slugs, but only ever in pots, and that's of course because I don't want any wildlife like hedgehogs coming and eating the pellets. I've got beautiful tulips coming out now, and you may have seen an earlier project that I did a few weeks ago where I planted up this basket, and it is looking really nice. I'm pleased that I made the choices that I have with the particular hostas here. I've got a very small variety there. Again, I'm going to get better at naming all of these for you. This one is beautiful. It's a sorbet hosta, that's the name of it, and it has been inside this year because sometimes you run the risk when you have them outside that the slugs will get them just as they're opening, and I just wanted this one to be completely slug free. These are my cannas, and they were in the house for a long time. They have been out now for about 2 weeks. They are looking a bit worse for wear, but there is signs of new growth. This is a Canna Cleopatra here. You can see the variegated leaf, really nice. I'm hoping last year they were beautiful, and I'm hoping this year they'll do a good job of brightening up the garden. This section here, also in the north section of my garden, I've recently just painted my bench and I think it looks really lovely. It brightens up this area. I've got a few pots that are waiting for potting something beautiful inside, so more on that in the coming weeks. That is my beautiful cage that I recently planted up. Everything is growing lovely. I will be moving this into the sun. It's just acclimatizing at the moment. Some ostrich fern here. Dicentra, the bleeding heart, which is still just about performing. It's starting to die back now. I do cut the leaves back a little bit in the next couple of weeks. Some calla lilies, really big ones. These are hardy ones, but they die back every winter and come back in the spring. Beautiful white flowers. I love this Acer. Now, in various spots of the garden, I've got so many little seedlings that have come through, and I typically just leave them to grow. When they get to a certain size, I will pot them up, but leave them roughly in the place that they seeded, because it's obvious that nature will find the best place to seed. And this one is so beautiful. I've had some luck with these. And I'm going to try really hard this year to pot them all on, as many as possible, to give away to friends and family. This is a new addition. I had a gap and I filled it. And this one is Dicentra luxuriant. There you are, beautiful. Lovely fern here at the back. Beautiful variegated leaves. Again, another fern. So beautiful when they start to uncurl. A hosta in a pot. Some lemon balm, which I think I have shown you before, but it's doing really well. Lovely for tea. A philitrum here, which is going to open up soon to reveal beautiful purple, I think, flowers, this one. Another philitrum album, so white one. Got a lobelia growing here, lovely purple. So this is the west wall, so it gets a lot of west sun, so late sun. My roses have all started to bud, and I will do a special video on the roses in the near future. This is a new addition, Clematis Florida Tingra. That grows to 60 to 80 centimetres, so under a metre, that one. I need to get better support for that plant. Again, phlox. I'm a big fan of phlox, and I'll do a special video on the phlox in the coming weeks, because I do cut them down, and I'll show you how to do that to get the most from the summer flowering. The roses at the back. That one is the Litchfield Angel, and something has snapped one of the branches, which I just discovered this morning. I'm hoping it will recover. It's not fully snapped, just bent. Another new addition, this climber. Here we are. Try and get the label. Yeah. It's lovely purple flowers. Again, there's the peony. I am going to take this one up and put it in a pot, because I just think that it's probably not happy here. It's only ever given me in the last 2 or 3 years maybe 1 or 2 flowers, so it's not really performing very well. So I'm going to dig it up, put it in a pot. I'll probably replace it with a hosta because it's quite shady under my acer, which is looking glorious. I'll just back up. And rambling up the acer is a wisteria. Last year I did have more flowers. This year I've only got a couple here, and there are some at the top of the tree which you probably won't see on this video. Okay, so the new addition to the garden is this shelving unit. It was purchased for £40 in IKEA. The wood comes unprotected, so I have painted it to match the shed and the mini pergola next to it, to give it some more protection from the rain. It will need regular maintenance over the years, but I needed somewhere to keep my more tender plants because I can't keep everything in the house. So these are a lot of bedding plants and hanging basket plants. They've been out here now for 2 weeks, and I have at the back some bubble wrap, which should the weather turn really cold, I will just cover them over. And I've done that on a few nights and they've been fine, so this is working for me. At the top I have some seedlings. I shall put up the name of those, and some garden peas. Right. And some more seedlings there. On the top I have placed a perspex top, which does open should I need to open it. And now I need to think about how I'm going to use this over the winter months. How am I going to protect any tender plants, because I sometimes dig up the tender plants that are at risk over the cold winters, cold and wet winters, and I dig them out and put them in pots, and I put them in an area which is more protected. So that's the reason I have this here. So I'm going to figure something out to do that over the winter. It may be that I just encapsulate it in bubble wrap, a large roll of bubble wrap. We shall see. I have moved my Olivia Austin rose into this position, so it gets a lot of dappled shade here. I think it will do really well. It's got lots of rose buds already. I've had some green fly, and what I typically do is just take my hand and knock them off like so. I try not to use anything that will be damaging to the wildlife, so any chemical sprays. I try my very best. So it's one way of controlling the green fly. So I have some Aquilegias here, which is just coming through. Lovely. A clematis growing on the pergola. My baskets are here. They have been hanging, but again, because it's been a bit chilly, I will just put them in the garden shed when it gets too cold, because I don't want to risk losing them. I have a Gertrude Jekyll rose here, which is doing really well. Lots of buds, growing nice and tall. Honeysuckle as well here at the back. More roses, a poppy, some foxgloves as well. Now some roses at the back. Paniculata, hydrangea paniculata. I have so many different plants here, and I do keep all the labels. So again, I'm going to map this all out, because I've left a label there, but I can't see the plant, but I know it's in there somewhere. It's like hunting here. I've got, I think, too many bulbs growing here, so I will dig some up and maybe replant them in pots, and then in the spring I'll bring the pots out and move the bulbs around the garden, which will give me a nice display. Another aquilegia here, purple one. These are all coming out. I'll try and put the names of them on screen. Another paniculata in a pot. This was growing in a quite shady area, and I need it to move it into a pot just to get it started, but it's a bit of a funny shape, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of pruning once after they flowered to try and get a nicer shape. All my cuttings from my roses are all in this corner, and they are growing really quickly and also producing buds. And this is this particular one, it's its second season. The others have only been from the autumn till now, so they have grown really quickly. I have my Canna Petoria there at the back next to a hydrangea. More beautiful ferns. Another Philiptrum. This one is a white, there we are, label. Got lots of little seedlings for the aquilegia. That's the Spotty Dotty, beautiful plant. Lovely clematis, which I need to get larger support for. More aquilegia. My Fatsia at the back, which has put on a lot of new growth. Lots of beautiful ferns. Yeah. So finally, the last part of my garden is this fern bed, where I have lots of shade loving plants. This is one of my favourite ferns. I've mentioned this one before in previous videos. It's a tattling fern. It's just so unusual. Got another very small Philiptrum there. Got another one here. And here we are back at the pond. I have an ostrich fern and two shuttlecock ferns there. Another fern at the front just coming out. And here I have another peony, it's just budding. And this last section here, a tigrella, so beautiful. They typically like shade, so it does get quite a bit of sun in the summer, but never that intensity, so it's enjoying being there, I think. And another peony here. This one's quite young. It absolutely has no flowers, so maybe not happy. And my last peony here has buds, so this one is happy, and that one not so much. I shall leave it there, it may come to life. And then in the middle, a foxglove. So that is all for this April tour. I hope you've enjoyed it, and please do join me again soon.